Hello, everyone. Good evening. Here's my cheat sheet. Give everyone a minute to get in and say hello. I hope you're having a good Monday and you had a great week. Hello, everyone. We have a new bundle tonight, and of course, the bundle will be listed in the description box down below if you want to grab it. Tonight's bundle includes products that I truly believe should be sold out already. So these are my why haven't you been sold out already because you're so amazing products. We're going to work with those today. Hi, Karen. Hi, Annie. How are you? So the two products that I truly believe should be sold out at Brutus Monroe, and they're not, and I don't understand why. The first one is this cute cacti cutting die set, which has all of these adorable little cactuses. Like, I love, love, love them. And they have all like little glasses, they have little layered flowers and little pots and little faces. And the my reason for wondering right now why there are so many of them still in stock is because they're metal dies with lots of details. And I feel like we're going to stop seeing these adorable type of metal dies that have a lot of details. I think they're going to become harder to find. And I also think they're going to become a much higher price point. So I just, everyone needs this die set. Even if you don't like cactuses, because you might not like it now, but later on, you're going to be wishing you had them. Hi, Sandy. The other product that I'm like, why hasn't this sold out yet? Is this stamp set, which is the UR stamp set. So what it is it's a 4x6 stamp set, and it says UR, and then it has all these words, like every word you can think of, and they aren't normal words. So they're not words that you're going to see on every stamp set that you own. They are words like enough, significant, magnificent, vibrant, beautiful, strong, radiant. Like, they're so cute. And then, as if that weren't enough, you also get all of these teeny tiny little adorable icon stamps that go with it. Like, this stamp set is chock full of images and sentiments, and it's so cute. I don't understand why these two, right? This stamp and this die set aren't sold out, but these are the two we're going to work with tonight. So included with these two items in tonight's bundle is the Victoria layered stencil, which we're going to play with, and I'm going to show you a way that you can use a stencil without needing a bunch of ink colors. We're only going to use one ink color tonight. There is also embossing ink. Now you get one, just one in your kit, but I have two because I have the crisp, clean stamping one and the chewed up mixed media one because we're going to use both of them tonight. And then you also get gilded embossing powder, some pre-scored, pre-cut card bases, alabaster cardstock, gingerbread cardstock, and buttercream cardstock. So lots and lots of fun products. Lots of really good staple products that you always need in your stash and that are consumable. Like, you're going to run out of the embossing ink, especially if you're like me and you used to. You're going to run out of the embossing powder. You're definitely going to like consume the cardstock, right? And then in addition to the cardstock, tonight's bundle also includes 3 gorgeous products. One that is brand new and two that everybody needs because they're amazing. Hello, Lou Ann. Oh, Sandy, if you need this, you need this stamp set in your life. It's so good. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Kate. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Shirley. I miss Shirley up there. Hello, Lou Ann. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so we are going to start with the stamp set. And we're going to go ahead and start with the alabaster cardstock. And I'm going to pull a Distress Oxide ink from my stash. Now, I'm going to use frayed burlap, but you could use any color you want. And also, we're not grabbing the alabaster cardstock. We're grabbing the buttercream cardstock. Walking a little slow. I'm really hoping I sprained my ankle over the weekend, and I'm really not supposed to be up and down and walking on it. So I was really hoping I had put everything I possibly could need like right here, so I didn't have to move. And I think I did pretty good. So I'm going to grab this scrap piece because I think that that will be perfectly good. Tonight's project is a scrap lift from a card that Candi created on one of her lives when these little cactuses came out. And I saw it on the website. And I was like, oh, I can do that. So we've, hers was red and gold. And it's absolutely beautiful. So I did mine in a little bit more muted, neutral tones so that it would be different. And but I'm gonna follow her basic like setup for her card. Oh, hi, Dottie. Yay, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the first time Dottie is watching one of our lives. That's fabulous. I'm so happy for you. You'll have fun. We have a good time here. So I am gonna get this in place. And then I have my, so I'm gonna start with the stencils. Now there are 3 stencil layers in this stencil set. I am not going to switch colors. I'm going to use the same exact shade of Distress Oxide ink. We are going to vary the intensity, and then we're going to add a little bit of something extra special to it at the end. So I'm going to grab, tonight we're going to use a pencil because that's what I have right here. So I'm just going ahead with a pencil, and I'm going to color in my little square here because that's going to help me to make sure that every one of my layers are good. The reason that I am working on such a large piece of paper and why I'm not putting it on the desk, I am left-handed and I turn my paper. So I need to have a big enough sheet of paper that I can use the tear it tape or the repositionable tape right to the cardstock, and then I can turn it. Have to be movable. Okay. So for the stenciling tonight. Yes, Sandy. So I've been trying. I know we're getting into a groove with my lives. I know like at the beginning of last month, I did a lift of Shalana's card. That was the one with the shaker, the bottled blooms and the shaker. And then we switch to new products, which is what we're going to do again this month. So this week, which would technically kind of be like the first April week, is some older products that I'm scrap lifting a design team member. And then starting with the bundle next week, I will be using all brand new products, which I'm so super excited about. I'm super excited to I've become proficient enough that I get to use all the new products, I guess. So that is super exciting to me. Okay, so what I'm going to do as I do all of these stencils, each layer, I'm going to put heavy layer of ink at the top and then smaller layers or less ink at the bottom. So we're going to get something that's a little bit, just a little bit of a ombre sort of look here. And then as we go through these layers, it's going to give it a lot of dimension and a lot of interest. So I don't want it to be, I don't want this ink to be saturated from the top to the bottom. I want to have a little bit of a highlight in the middle, and then I want the majority of the ink saturation to be at the top of the stenciled area. I'm just going to come in here. Just like that. Yes, tomorrow is release day, so all the new April products will be released tomorrow. And I have already done, worked out all the bundles for the month of April. And we are going to make some super, super fun things. So this is going to be the first layer of the stencil, but for today's project, it is super important that we have our little registration square up here, because we are actually going to come back to this last stencil in a minute. Next one we're going to do is the flower. Oh, Emily's here. Emily is such a good friend of mine. She is so sweet. I love her to death, and I can't believe she's in my life. I feel like I have a celebrity watching me, so now I have to be super good at this, right? Can't mess up. If you don't know Emily, you should. She's so fabulous. Okay, so this is the second layer of the stencil. Again, I am matching up the little square in the upper right-hand corner. So I have my registration marks, and I know my stencil is lined up perfectly. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing. So the top of the flower here and the top edge of the flower here is going to get a nice saturated layer of ink. And then as you move down, you're going to get less saturation of ink. And that is going to do a lot for the finished product, because remember, we're using a layered stencil with one shade of ink. So we need to be a little bit creative in how we're going to accomplish that, how we're going to make our finished panel be interesting and fun when we are only using one shade of ink. So really nice and heavy on those edges, and then tap some off and go much later down through the rest of each of the stenciled areas. And then you'll get a little bit of that kind of highlight look. And then just like we did with the leaves, I'm going to come back with something that is a little bit heavier, not as heavy as this, but a little bit heavier. And I'm just going to go ahead and catch these bottom edges so they're just a little bit darker than that area in the middle where we have our highlight. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so a little bit darker on the edge and then come back down. So see, we have that nice, deep, dark saturation. Tap some off for the middle where we want our highlight, and then just a little bit darker towards the bottom. And it does not matter at all if you get ink outside here, because we're going to trim this all down. So I know I'll have like a little rectangle by the time I'm done, and I'm totally okay with that. Okay. So then we want to pull this off, but we want to keep it because we're going to come back to those. So the last panel on this stencil is the centers of the flowers. And we are going to go all in on the dark for the centers of the flowers. So we're going to really load up our brush. Hello, Miss Penny. Hi, Nikki. And I'm going to do really dark centers. So I'm getting a lot of ink. I'm really going in here, getting nice saturation. Okay. So there is the finished stencil if you just left it alone. So if we just did all 3 of the layers, we have some that's light and some that's dark. And we are now ready for the next part. So we're going to take each of these and we're going to put them back down. Start with this one. Thank you, Sandy. We're not done yet, though. Just you wait. Okay. Next, we are going to take the embossing powder. This is the clear embossing ink, and this is the one that looks like it got chewed on. So it's not your crisp, clean stamping one. It's your messed up, chewed on old one that you have like used and abused. That's the one we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this direct to paper. I am going to take the embossing powder direct to paper, and I'm going to mush it down onto these areas. I am not going to get ink, embossing ink all over, right? I just want, in this case, I'm just going to cover up some of the little pieces of the leaves. And I want it to look messy, and I want it to look not clean. Another thing that I'm going to show you a little trick is take your finger and go like this so that you don't have any of those edges, you know, from the ink pad where it goes straight and then it's a whole mess. Okay. So that's the first layer. And you couldn't do this with a lot of embossing powders, but because Brutus Monroe's embossing powders they're like oil-based ink and they stay wet for a super long time, this is going to work beautifully. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to sprinkle my leaves. And then I'm going to tap it off. And I'm actually going to flip this over and I'm going to flick it because I want to get as much embossing powder off of this as possible. Sandy, yeah, the well-loved mixed media embossing powder pad. Okay, so we're gonna flick and flick and flick till we have a good chunk of this off. Now, for me personally, it does not matter to me if there is little bits of ink hanging out. Like I didn't hit this with my magic powder tool. I didn't do anything. I just put it on there because this is the background. And what I'm doing is adding gold accents to my background. Now, depending on how thick or thin your embossing powder gets, depends on how the stenciling is going to go. So in this case, this really covered those leaves. So in theory, could I have not put the ink on and been good? Yes, but you know. The other one that I did was more, there were more, it was more random. So you saw more of the ink come through. So then it's a little messy, all that. But look at that gold, like so gorgeous. So that's layer number one. Now we can come in with the next layer. And we don't have to worry about burning our embossing. You know, sometimes you can over emboss and then it burns. You're not going to have that too badly with this because we're not going to do a whole lot to the flowers. The bulk of the embossing, I'm doing it on the leaves. So again, as Sandy calls it, the well-loved mixed media embossing pad. Again, I'm just going to catch the tops of those flowers, just pushing down a little bit on these ones, not a lot, just a little bit on the leaves. Just press right down and then pull up. And then just take your finger and kind of rub across it so that you don't have those the lines. Okay. And now we've done everything we're going to do with the stencil. So you can take that and drop it into your stencil tray with the soapy water and move on to the next thing. Thank you. Emily said the gold is beautiful. This is gilded embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. Brutus Monroe has the best embossing powders. It's like, it's beautiful. Absolutely. The colors are great, but like it's like ultra fine and super easy to work with. I love it. This is the gilded. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear me flick again because I want to make sure that I'm taking off as much as I can. So remember when we did the Distress Oxide ink and we did the flower centers really heavily? That is because if you know anything about Distress Oxide inks, you know that they don't dry as quickly. So now all that beautiful gilded embossing powder is perfectly on my flower centers because we use that nice heavy layer of the ink. Okay, so there's the background. I love the gold. So we caught all this entire center, and then we only got half, but remember how I was trying to do it so that we had highlights and sections that were kind of like um, light and dark. So that works perfectly. Plus, I happen to know the finished layout. We're going to cover that half up, so not a big deal. Now, we do have to math a little bit. Just a smidge. So I'm going to grab my gingerbread cardstock. Oh, hi, Sean. How are you? So Penny just told everyone a little secret. The subscriptions have already updated for April, and there's a new paper pad of the month option. Oh my gosh, now I want to just stop the live and run to the store. Anybody else? I know everyone's gonna leave. It's gonna like go down to where it's just me and Penny. Everyone's like, I'm out of here. I don't blame you, and it's okay. You go right ahead. I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of there being a paper pad of the month option. Like, that's amazing. Okay. So we are going to cut this down, and there's sort of math here, but not really. So when you do this side, I just need to do it. So I just want to trim it so that I'm cutting off my registration mark. And then on this side, we're going to go down to 4. Yep. And then up here. We're going to do 5 1/4. So we're going to do 4 by 5 1/4. Sandy, I have to read your comment for anyone from the future. Sandy just here said, the amount of Brutus Monroe paper pads that I already have is insane. Be right back. Okay, so I hear you because I'm the same way. You have to remember, before I was a part of the design team, I was a customer for years. I have so much Brutus Monroe paper. So I am going to go ahead and trim this off a little bit because it's not looking even, which is kind of bugging me. You know what, though? They have the best paper. It's so good. And if you've never tried any of their cardstock is the best. Like, it's amazing. Okay. I have to take a minute and regroup now. That was, my heart can't take a new paper pad of the month subscription. Plus, I have to math. All right. So what I want is the smallest, tiniest little gingerbread cardstock border around my card stencil piece. I just want a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch, so it would be 16. So I'm gonna do 3, and see, I can't math, so I'm gonna get my head in here so I can count. So we want like 3 7/8. That sounds right. Yes, that's good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Just a little bit. 1/8 of an inch. And then we want 5 and 3/8 of an inch. Penny says, but now we know you can foil it. There are so many things you can do with it. Correct. And Emily's with me. She can't math either. I can't math. So then when we take our you guys are cracking me up. I can't help it. So then we would have our card base, and then we have our card front, and then we have a nice border, and it's a little bit like it's not an even, so the rest of it's gonna sit like this on the card base. So it's almost like it's longer, if that makes sense, which is gonna work perfectly for the rest of our card projects because we still have cactuses. Oh, we don't need this one. We need the other one. Oh, Sean's asking how I did my stencil. Okay, so I used 1 shade of Distress Oxide ink. I used frayed burlap, but you could use any color you wanted on buttercream cardstock. What I did was I varied the amount of ink that I put through each layer of the stencil. So some of the stencil got a lot of ink, and some of the stencil areas got mild ink or just a little bit of ink. But I did all 3 layers in the same color ink. Then I came in and I smooshed certain areas of the stencil. I have a mixed media embossing pad that looks like it's been chewed on, and I just went like this for each layer of the stencil. And then because I used Distress Oxide ink, which takes forever to dry, it actually took the entire center of the flowers and heat embossed it because that ink, Distress Oxide ink, stays wet for longer. So this part and this part and this part and this part is embossing ink, and then these perfect kind of edges or thing is from, I just put it through the stencil with the Distress ink and then added the gilded embossing powder. Hi, Ellen. Okay, so now, okay, that's okay, Sean. I'm trying to think about all the steps I took to make this to tell you while trying to think about the next step that I have to do on the card. There is some mental gymnastics going on in my head right now. So this is just the scrap piece from the back of the card. I'm going to cut 2 1/4-inch strips. Well, I think I did 1/2-inch strips on the other one. I did. So 2 1/2-inch strips. For those of you just joining us, tonight's card is a scrap lift, card lift. My first love was scrapbooking, so I think scrap lift, but I guess it's a card, so card lift. And it is a card lift of candies. So the you are, and someone pick a thing. Strong, radiant, beautiful, powerful, brave, everything, courageous, vibrant, smart, special, enough, significant, needed, magnificent, brilliant, and superb. How about that? Like, can we get, there's every adjective here. First person to type in one of these adjectives, that's the one we're using. First thing I see, that's what I'm going with. And I know there's a delay. Like, we have so many options here. First one I see, that's what we're doing. No one. All right, let's do, hold on. Come on, I know there has to be. I always wonder how long this delay is on this. And now I'm sitting here waiting for it to pop up and first word to pop up. And I'm like, man, this delay is bad. Okay, let's do magnificent. Does that work for everybody? So I'm gonna. Oh, Penny says no, they're all shopping. Oh, so the delay isn't that bad. Everyone's shopping. I mean, that's good, right? That's excellent. That's all right. Go shop. You're fine. I'll just hang out here with Penny. I am all about you guys shopping. I want to finish this card up quick so that I can go shop. Oh. You know what? I don't think marvelous is one of the words on the stamp. I think it's magnificent, which is the one that I chose. Is marvelous there? Oh, now I lost my stamp set. Okay, we're sticking with this. We're sticking with this. So I am getting these stamps here because I want to make sure that I give myself enough space. This is, again, the girl that doesn't math. So we're going to do this like old school. I just want to make sure I'm giving myself enough length and width to get what I will get the words I want onto this little section here. There we go. Okay. Oh, there it is. Magnificent. Yeah, I don't think there's marvelous. Is marvelous there? I'll look for you just in case you need to know. No, it's magnificent. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a little shelf that goes right here. And we're going to create a little shelf that goes right here. And we're going to put the "you are magnificent" right here. And then, by the magic of TV, I have already put together the cute little cactuses because I knew that there was no way I could put the cactuses together in the time I had to go live. So I'll just give you a really good close-up look at the cactuses. And I used the mixed media embossing pad and put it around the edges. So there's the first little set of cactuses I made, and they're like the cutest things ever. So this is all Brutus Monroe cardstock. It's a Lunchbox and Jurassic and Cabbage and Pink Lemonade and Buttercream and Raven. So cute. And then here's the other one I did. Same colors, cute little cheeks. Same thing, just went over it with the mixed media embossing ink pad and then hit it with some more gold because you can never have too much gold. So there's our little cactuses. And the last thing we need to do is to put our cute little sentiment on here. I'm going to try to justify the sentiment so that I'm sure that if I have cut this little bit too long or too big, I can cut off the extra on this side. So I'm kind of putting everything over here. Annie, I love this die set too. It's so cute. It's so cute. Those little cactuses are just, they're adorable. Emily, you should run over to the shop and see what the price of the die that makes these cactuses are. They're called the Cute Cacti die set. Just go take a peek. So I am going to use my clean stamping embossing ink pad. Look how much nicer that one is. And I'm going to stamp it twice. I'm starting with the UR, and then I'm going to come back and put the Magnificent so that I can kind of tuck Magnificent right underneath the UR. They are so cute, Sean. I love these cactuses. They are the cutest things. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to stamp this a couple times. I'm making sure that it's nice and straight. And I'm also making sure that I have all the words and all the letters I need inked up. Yes, I know. There, see? Penny got it. Penny got it. This die set, because it is an older die, it is only $5 in the shop. $5. And it makes all 4 of these. $4.25 if you're a subscriber. So if you're a subscriber for any of the subscriptions, the die set is $4.25. But because it's an older die set and it has been around for a while, I think it's close to a year old, and it's still in stock, $5. Run. Just run. That was why I said at the beginning, I'm using products tonight that I can't believe are still in stock in the store. Yeah, this is so the cute cactus die has 29 dies. And remember what I said at the beginning, like, you aren't going to be able to get dies like this for $5 anymore. I think as a my personal opinion is that we're going to go to we're not going to have, because they just won't be accessible for people to make them. There won't be as many dies like this where you have all those little pieces and all those layers and all the fun. I think those are going to be a thing of the past before too much longer. We'll still have dies, but I don't think they'll be like that where you get 29 of them and it makes like cute little critters with all the little extras. Yeah, it's like, that's cheaper than a Caribou coffee, right? It's $5. It is so worth it. Okay. So there is, I'm going to pop this up here so you can see, like, totally, completely readable. It's so pretty and gold. I love that. And then we can go ahead and trim it down just a smidge. Okay. So the way this is going to work is we're going to start with a little piece over here. So this is how Candi had hers set up. And then we have one strip coming in from this side and the two cutie patootie cactuses kind of sitting on this little shelf here. And then there's one down here, another little shelf with the second cutie patootie cactus sitting right on it. And her cactuses didn't touch, but I think mine might end up touching. No, I think we got them. There we go. Now we just have to put it all down and put it on the card base. So cute. So next week, and for all the weeks, the rest of the weeks in March, we'll be using all new product, which will be awesome. So you can get excited for that. And then I think we have it down to a science now. So the first Monday will be a project like this, where I'm like, why is this still in stock? Because it shouldn't be, because it's amazing. And then we'll go back to new products. Get this one in nice and straight. They're so cute. I love them. Love, love, love these little cactuses. And I think somewhere in my stash, I have a stamp set. And it's just a stamp in my stash. But it says something like, I heard you were feeling prickly. And I'm like, I just saw it the other day. I was looking for something else. I was like, oh, I have to pair that stamp with these cactuses. Go. Get that nice and straight. And we'll get this one down. And then we'll trim off the extras and put it on a card base. Ta-da. So does anyone have any questions about tonight's live? As soon as I'm done, and I'm gonna be finishing a little early, which will give you all time to run to the store, right, and look at the subscription stuff and get all of that. Very, very important. Very important. While you're there looking at all that, grab the cute cactus dies and the UR stamp set. It's definitely the plan. Okay. So let's get this in here nice and straight. Hi, Candi. Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Emily. I know that you are one very, very busy girl, and it makes my heart happy that you came and listened to me ramble on for an hour, a little less than an hour. So here is our finished card for tonight. It's so cute. I love it. What do you think, Candi? Hi, Nicole. Nicole's here. Look, I make cute cactuses. Nicole lives in Nevada. And so I think she will appreciate my cute cactuses because she probably sees them all the time. Thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you, Emily. Yes, there's lots of new stuff over at the shop. They never release new stuff when I'm live, so I'm super excited that they did tonight. So there's a new glitter glaze bundle. There is So many fun things. And we're gonna finish up early so everyone can go shop. All right. Oh, Nicole, you definitely have to watch the replay because Cactus Love. Thank you so much, Sean. Yes, go shop. I'm letting you out early. School is finished early today. I'm dismissing you early so you can go shop. You guys all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. And I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.